Today is a great day here in Los Angeles as we get to celebrate the 100th anniversary, a milestone in American policing, as we recognize the LAPD Crime Lab, the second largest in the country, established 100 years ago by then Chief of Police August Vollmer. And August, as he saw the ability of intersecting science and the forensic science with the work of policing, he established his crime lab. The first police officer, first criminalist, was Rex Walsh. As a police officer, his equipment consisted of an antiquated microscope, a few chemicals, and some glassware. So today, an opportunity, I'm going to give you some of the highlights in the last 100 years. I'm going to talk about some of the capabilities we have, and I want to thank the members of the media that are here to bring attention to this. Not just because of the accomplishments of what these men and women do every single day in protecting victims, identifying those responsible for the crimes that are committed, but the manner in which they do it, the quality, the professional standards, the accreditations that we maintain to ensure that the work that is done here can withstand the scrutiny that's necessary as the criminal justice system pursues justice for victims as well as to protect the innocent from being wrongfully accused. So in this path of the crime lab here in Los Angeles, it's been one over the last 100 years that I want to point out a couple milestones. When we look about this, we see today on CSI and others, and we think that the ability of science is so, while so profound, we fail to recognize that just 100 years ago, something as simple as fingerprints was not in existence. That the work that in establishing an automated fingerprint system is only within my tenure as a member of this organization. It was only in the mid-'80s that we actually automated and began automating the fingerprint collection and the actual analysis. Proud of the work of that first automated fingerprint identification system in 1986. It provided the ability to search latent prints collected at crime scenes through a database of stored fingerprint exemplars that had been obtained through the bookings of arrestees. In 2001, the Firearms Analysis Unit began using what's called the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network. I commonly call it NIBIN. It's a little easier to pronounce. But that system, moving away from fingerprints, moved into the analysis and the evidence that could be collected and analyzed and identified those responsible for gun violence, not just here in Los Angeles, but across the country. At present, LAPD has entered more than 110,000 items of ballistic information into this system and has generated over 11,000 investigative leads. Again, this is a system that LAPD sought working with our federal partners to acquire, and now we continue to grow it. And it's identifying people who are trigger pullers, who are out shooting other individuals, murdering individuals, and through the evidence collected at a scene by a crime technician and utilizing these automated systems, we can bring a small measure of justice to those victims and their families. In 2010, the Polygraph Unit was the first state or local agency in the United States to successfully complete its accreditation process through the Polygraph Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Since then, the Polygraph Unit has continually maintained that accreditation through a review and ongoing audits. In 2015, with the expansion in both serology, polygraph, photography, fingerprints, all the disciplines within this crime lab, we grew to more than 300 positions. And it was divided into two divisions, Forensic Science Division as well as the Technical Investigation Division. The work of these two divisions today continues with as recently as this last year when tragically individuals came to Los Angeles from Chicago, and they lied in wait for three individuals, or a number of individuals, that after a party opening up a new record release, returned to their Airbnb up in the Benedict Hills of Bel Air. And there they were brutally murdered, a triple homicide that occurred. It was, again, these technicians and their science that, in concert with the homicide detectives, as well as the support of our surrounding agencies, including the Beverly Hills Police Department, that we're able to identify those individuals responsible. They have been arrested and they're awaiting multiple murder trials. But their work hasn't stopped there. It continues today. I have with me today two individuals responsible for overseeing these two commands. I'll introduce them in a moment, the first being of the Forensic Science Division, and that is Gabe Nanopragmatism. Now that's a name that I work on every single day. The second one is, and as important, is Tatiana Garcia as a commanding officer of Technical Investigation Division. And so these two individuals will talk a little bit more about this, and then I'll come back and close, and we'll take any questions that you might have. So Gabe, I'll give the floor to you first.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabe Nanopragmatism. I'm the commanding officer of LAPD's Forensic Science Division. Just wanted to share, when I assumed the role of commanding officer, one of the first conversations that Chief Moore had with me was that beyond all the numbers, beyond all the volumes, the throughputs, the turnaround times, what was most important is the quality, is that the community's expectation is that the science is performed right. Forensic Science Division is a fully accredited laboratory, meaning it's audited from an outside entity, outside of the Los Angeles Police Department, outside of the City of Los Angeles, outside of any government. All of our forensic disciplines and their activities have been fully audited. We've had tremendous support with department leadership, with the City of Los Angeles, and private donators, including the Los Angeles Police Foundation in 2008, donated $1.4 million to address the backlog of sexual assault kits. Since then, the Los Angeles Police Department has maintained a zero backlog. Today, California state law requires that sexual assault kits be analyzed within 120 days. The Los Angeles Police Department's Forensic Science Division analyzes all kits, not just sexual assault items, within 90 days. And it is our standard practice to test every single swab in a kit, which is not required by the state. I am incredibly grateful for the role of a civilian command officer for the Los Angeles Police Department. This position has given me great value, great purpose, and we just wanted to highlight some of the incredible career pathways. We have booths set up with each of our forensic disciplines. We have the firearm analysis unit, we have the field investigation unit, we have toxicology unit, we have trace analysis unit, we have the narcotics analysis unit, we have obviously our field investigation unit here as well. Please, we welcome you, we welcome the media, we welcome our community members to take a look, take pictures, walk around, meet our guests, meet our staff, meet our personnel, ask questions. And we also have other career pathways as well. We have Evidence and Property Management Division here, and we have some of our systems and technical positions here also. So with that, enjoy this. I'm going to introduce you to my counterpart and my partner, Ms. Tatiana Garcia, the Technical Investigation Division. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you again for being here, to the members of the media, other command staff, and of course, the Chief of Police for being here and helping us celebrate such a milestone within forensic science and technical investigations. We are here to answer any questions, any matters that, especially regarding the filling of critical vacancies in civilian personnel within the Los Angeles Police Department. I have been a commanding officer of the Technical Investigation Division since 2018 and very proud of leading such an amazing group of technical savvy personnel. I've also grew up within the Forensic Science Division, so I welcome everybody to be here and ask questions, to visit their booths, and also to pay tribute to the amazing work all of the individuals within both the Forensic Science Division and Technical Investigation Division provide investigative support to all of our members, sworn members of the department. Quiero primero también decirle gracias a todos los miembros de la prensa por estar aquí, por ayudarnos aquí a celebrar un evento tan grande como son los 100 años de análisis forensicos y técnicos dentro del Departamento de Los Ángeles, del Policía de Los Ángeles. Muchas gracias y aquí estamos para servirles y explicarles todo el proceso, todos los procesos que hacemos para ayudar a las investigaciones que hace el Departamento de Policía respecto a escenas de crímenes. Now I'm going to pass it back to our Chief of Police.
Thank you. So I want to introduce a couple other people that are here. I'm joined by the Assistant Chief Blake Chow for the Office of Special Operations. I'm also joined by Ms. Emery Sauer, who oversees our administrative services, as well as Mr. Phillips, that's here over our facility management. So, and I also want to thank the Police Museum. This structure that is behind here is the original Northeast Area Police Station. Actually, it's the first police station I worked on a ride-along back in 1982 when it was then a functional police station. It is a place that we believe is unmatched across the Americas when it comes to showing the history, the artifacts of this great department, both good and bad. And so it is fitting that as we stand here today to talk about and showcase what I think is the finest crime lab in America, that we do so in a location that is reflective of our past as well as a promise of our future. Before we take any questions, I want to close by some remarks that Gabe made about when I spoke with him when he assumed this position in this command. This department has not always enjoyed the success of a crime lab that has been without challenge. There's been episodes, I'm thankful relatively few, but there have been episodes where our quality assurance, our controls were not what they should have been. And I can assure you that as this department is constantly learning, constantly committed to quality through continuous improvement, that we have established an unbending standard of accreditations that whenever possible we will seek out and find the best independent agency to evaluate, to challenge us, to ensure that our policies, our procedures, our inspections, the manner in which we go about our work can be not just defended, but can be demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt to juries and others that the issues of justice hang in the balance. So the pursuit of justice for victims is what this crime lab does. It seeks to find evidence that demonstrates beyond a reasonable doubt individuals responsible for such heinous acts as this triple murder that I referenced, or something more simple as a stolen vehicle or someone breaking into a home. It's also meant to demonstrate, memorialize crime scenes and locations as to what we'll know today, but also what can be learned in the weeks, months, years ahead. And what I mean by that is that when we look at the path of DNA, the path of trace evidence, both are two areas of study that in the last 30 years have made significant leaps and bounds. And in the science and its ability to identify those responsible for various acts, including homicide, sexual assaults, and so forth. So the efforts of these two commands is not just to capture and memorialize information and evidence today, but to warehouse and archive it for the future, so as science develops and enriches, that we can solve even more crimes and bring, again, individuals to justice. At the same time, while across America there's much debate at times about where should a crime lab be in the position of the criminal justice system, I am proud of this command's work, these two commands' work, in their accreditation with outside, because and their commitment is to ensure that innocent individuals are identified, and that their work is as important to eliminate those suspected when the evidence does not support that suspicion as it is to identify those that are responsible. Key to this is hiring the right individuals, people with the right values, with integrity, with the proper technical skill set, but also individuals that understand that the critical balance that they hold is in their work each day. And for that reason, I want to welcome every person working here or listening here today to recognize that LAPD is hiring. And many times as LAPD is hiring, we think about officers working in black and whites. We think about officers that may be becoming detectives and some of the other specialized fields. What's often overlooked is the civilian professionals that make up more than 2,600 positions in this city for LAPD, and a whole variety of positions that many people would never imagine. So today is also a call to Angelenos to think and consider if they're interested in the various sciences and services that are part of our work in our civilian professional field that we're hiring. That the LA City website lists those ample opportunities, what the underlying requirements are, that we have apprenticeship positions as well as seasoned professionals, and that the career path, as is demonstrated here, is not just within a unit itself, but there's opportunities over the course of time to take on more managerial positions and leadership positions in this department. So with that, I hope to answer any questions you have, or certainly ask the two experts that are up here and much more able to, I'm sure, address your inquiry. Yes, sir.
Hi, Chief. Good afternoon. To coattail on your comments there, I was going to ask about recruitment. Are these two divisions mostly civilian, or are they sworn in this as well?
They're 95% of them are civilians. We have some lone police officers that we have working our firearms analysis because of the lack of civilian staff.
And then are you facing the same challenges? I mean, you've given an impassioned plea for recruitment, and the booth behind us about recruitment. Do you have the same challenges in these two divisions for recruitment as you do in patrol? Yes,
the challenges within our civilian professional workforce is matched by the same challenge with our sworn professionals, both in forensic science, technical investigation division, the various positions you see here, as well as in our police service representatives, our 911 call takers and dispatchers, as well as those who work our custody services and security. America right now is facing a challenge in many professions, certainly law enforcement, sworn and civilian, of quality, high quality, qualified individuals. But we believe they're out there, and many of them in this, when they look at LAPD, they don't think of these types of jobs, photography work, of field investigators, of evidence collection analysts, and those scientific side that work through the forensic sciences that can be lab technicians and so forth.
With these two specific divisions, how many spots are funded and how many are actually filled?
So I'm going to let them, either one of them, answer that, or you can.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Hi, Greg. Thanks for the questions. So each division has unique issues when it comes to personnel. I just know Forensic Science Division, we've had tremendous support from our department leadership in the critical importance that it plays. A year and a half ago, Forensic Science Division experienced a high rate of attrition. The division as a whole was at about 16%. We have about 202 authorized positions. Today we're at 5%. 65% of the 202 positions are criminalist positions. Currently we have, so we have about 134 of those positions, and roughly about five of those 134 vacancies. So I say that, and the requirement for that criminalist position is a 4-year degree in natural or physical science. So I say that because we've had tremendous support. 66% of those vacancies a year and a half ago were at the narcotics analyst unit and the firearm analysis unit, critical functions. Today they're all filled, but that again is because of the support that we have through our leadership chain of command through the city of Los Angeles. But we're continuously looking, and they are a priority, and work through our administrative services for continuous funding. You're welcome.
In the case of the Technical Investigation Division, it's slightly different than the Forensic Science Division. We have 4 major different technical classifications. We have police surveillance specialists, we have photographers, we also have forensic print specialists, and polygraph examiners. Right now, our allotment or allocation of positions is 178. It's basically all of those positions. Unfortunately, we are only at 136 positions, so we have about 40% of that in vacancies.
No, about 40 vacancies.
Sorry, 40 vacancies, sorry.
I guess, unless anyone else has a question, do you have enough people to process all of the cases of a city this size?
Yes.
Sure. Thankfully, because of the resources provided, and again, the critical importance, yes, Forensic Science Division has about 17,500 items that we analyze each year. 9,000 of those items are NIBIN, and NIBIN is under the Firearm Analysis Unit, and that's where those vacancies of filling that 33% vacancy in that Firearm Analysis Unit came in, and which was huge. We also receive about 6,000 items for the Narcotics Analysis Unit. So between the two divisions, we're looking at about 15,000 items out of those, out of that good majority, about 18,000. So actually, it's a little bit less than that. It is about, let's say, 9,000, 8,000, maybe about 13,000 items. So we are at a zero backlog for NIBIN, which everything is uploaded within 48 hours. We are at a zero backlog for sexual assault cases, for narcotics. We have, at this time, the resources, but part of that is because of the accreditation and going back to the quality standards that Chief Moore spoke about. That allows us to obtain grants, federal grants, utilization of special funds, so we could have our personnel and resources.
And I'll just follow up. The most violent crimes is what leads prioritization for both these divisions. Property crimes is where we see our gaps. Whenever there's a shortage of personnel, whether it be in fingerprints, collection of fingerprints, crime, the field investigators, their ability to get out to homes, take latent prints is on a priority basis. So if it's a violent crime, that's going to be immediate. If it's a property crime, such as a burglary, it may be delayed. So this is where the organization will continue to prioritize the resources we have to violent crime first, and then as resources allow, we follow up on the property crime area. The problem or the challenge with that, to give context, is we know that burglary, auto theft, that these are serial type criminals, that the individuals involved in this often repeat themselves. So latent prints that we can pick up from every burglary scene offers us the ability to understand and identify whether it's an identified individual who's been previously arrested or an individual who's yet to be arrested, but we can tie in to multiple locations. So this extends to serology as well and the other sciences, if you will. So while we have, it sounds like the good reporting, we're fairly good. It needs to be better. We need to see 100% of those positions filled. We also have attrition in the sense that we lose hundreds of individuals each year through a full service retirement. So we are constantly on a hiring binge, if you will, and then our civilian ranks, certainly they're even more critical shortages are within our police service representatives, as well as our equipment mechanics, as well as our custody services division. We are down right now about at least 300 positions from where we should be at. So there is ample opportunities for professional, well-paid, well-compensated positions throughout this organization. We encourage the public to look into this, research it, and become part of the LAPD story. Okay, thank you all for being here, and that's Jeff Phillips over there. I had a mental pause there in my head, but please enjoy, and again, our thanks to the museum for allowing us to be here and showcase the work of these outstanding men and women.